Whole home rewires and emergency service to adding an outlet or LED lighting, Early Bird Electric has you covered. Did I mention same-day service?
612, The Bird.
Mention KFAN and your trip charge is free.
612, The Bird.
Or visit 612...
I see Swedberg over there, Ben, of course. Paul Charchian's right behind me. PA, Nordo, it's about to happen. I'm so excited I can barely stand it. By the end of this show, you'll know who the Vikings are going to pick tonight, and you can take that to the bank.
Or at least a credit union.
Okay, at least a credit union, maybe just a credit union. Right.
We've learned that today.
Now, before we dive completely into that.
It's time for Vikings News on the Power Trip, presented by
Redco, your truck accessories pro.
Justin Jefferson's going to be in Fortnite.
Yep, that's right. Which
Teddy
is cool.
Bridgewater going to the Denver Broncos.
Yep, good for him.
Patrick Peterson going to wear number 7. We learned that a couple days ago. What else? Ben, anything else pressing or not? Or should we just get to
Besides
the
draft
goddamn
tonight, obviously, yes.
I think that's it.
Okay,
cool. Good. Let's get to the gosh darn draft. So, the draft order goes, first of all, good morning, Charge.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Swedberg.
I'm sorry. I can't hear it.
Oh, hi.
Whatever Hawk's saying, I can't hear it.
Turn the box
This
on.
is perfect. Change nothing.
Yeah, right, exactly. Hi, Rosie.
Good morning.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Nordo.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
All right, so PA is going to pick first for Jacksonville. Just a moment. Charge has the Jets, which I know you're excited. You wish you were doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Meat Sauce has the 49ers. Nordo, the Falcons. Lieber, the Bengals. Rosen, the Dolphins. Mr. Swedberg, the Lions. And then it's snake drafts. So Swedberg goes Panthers, Rosen, Broncos, and so on and so forth. So I believe, without further ado, Corey, it's almost time to make that first pick.
Ben, your hands up.
Yeah, question for the panel. Are we picking based on what you think the team is going to do or what you would do personally as the GM?
It's a great question. We talk about it every year. We would like you to tell us both, but we want to go with what you think the team's going to do.
Yes, so
that's
give
the
us
one we
your
will
opinion.
take care of.
Here's
Yes.
what I would do. Here's what I think they should do.
Oh.
But ultimately, make the pick that you think will actually happen tonight.
Yeah, we want to try to be accurate, but we also want to know what you think they should do. And if you can even tell us if you think they're going to trade, but you're not allowed to trade.
We want to be the first mock draft ever to get 3 or 4 right in the first round.
Which we do every year.
Man, can I just say how great it is to be in the same room with Greg Swedberg?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing.
I can tell you're glowing right now.
Between him and PA, I mean, it's
you can stop touching him.
I had no idea this was going to be on TV.
Yeah.
You look amazing.
I might have shaved. Then I look at Paul. I'm fine.
No.
I just trimmed my beard.
No, Paul Allen. It's not all about you, Sauce.
Yeah, dude. Don't talk about we that way.
Oh.
That's mean.
All right. You guys ready?
I think we're ready. It's time.
With the first pick in the 2021 Power Trip mock draft, the voice of the Vikings, Paul Allen, selects for Jacksonville.
Trevor Lawrence, quarterback Clemson. Will be the pick.
Shock him.
Is not the right pick.
Oh.
It's the right pick.
Okay.
Archie on a little bit.
Jeez,
Bye.
hot take
There he goes, man. There he goes. So, as expected, Trevor Lawrence, Hall of Fame player. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, potentially, but I think he's clear-cut the number one quarterback in this draft. So whether or not he's a Hall of Famer or not, he's going to go number one.
What, Rosie, you said you think he's going to be a bust.
Complete bust. No,
Yep.
I don't think that at all. I mean, I think people have already questioned his passion for the game, and he came out and said, look, I love this game. He's involved in a lot of other stuff off the field already, and I think he's got this different sort of vibe about him, but that doesn't mean he's going to be a bust. Oh, my God. And it really depends on obviously how good the team is around him. We put so much emphasis on these rookie quarterbacks thinking they're going to step in and not just play, but play at a high level early on, and that used to go against the grain, and certainly the Packers have used that model. They did it again last year. So, I mean, he's going to be a terrific quarterback.
And Charge?
Best prospect since Andrew Luck at quarterback.
Wow.
3 astounding seasons, totally tested. It doesn't mean he's going to be successful, but just based on what he did in college, he's the best prospect since Luck.
And if he's in last year's draft with Joe Burrow, he's still the number one overall
number
pick.
one. Agreed. Yep.
That's awesome.
What if he's in next year's draft with Tanner Morgan?
He's probably the number one overall pick.
Okay, he's still number one. Okay, just checking.
All right.
I'm just trying to be accurate.
Right. Very cool.
Trevor Lawrence goes number 1 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Second is the New York Football Jets and Paul Charchian.
I am Jets general manager Joe Douglas. I am the guy who drafted Sam Darnold and then promptly surrounded him with zero talent and Adam Gase. So my judgment is documented to be highly suspect. My team needs look like this. My offense was dead last in scoring, dead last in yards per game, dead last in first downs, and we punted more than any team. We ranked 26th in points allowed on defense, 24th in yards allowed, 25th in first downs allowed. But to be clear, our punter, Brandon Mann, he is awesome. So we're not going punter.
Okay, all right.
We are going to go with quarterback Zach Wilson from Brigham Young. He's got arm strength, deep ball accuracy. He's a fearless passer. He throws into tight windows. He's creative. He's mobile. He throws on the run with ease. That is Zach Wilson, your new New York Jet.
Wow. Now, is that really truly what you expect they're going to do? And is that what they should do?
Yes.
No
yes
kidding.
And yes.
Anybody have a disagreement or any concerns about Zach Wilson over there?
I would have taken Justin Fields, but that's my own personal opinion.
Wow.
You'll have a lot of opportunities to say that later tonight if if things go as they're trending right now.
Really, the first question mark of the night is going to be pick 3, right? The Niners gave up a haul to trade up. Almost always when you do that, you have somebody specifically in mind. I think you're insane if you don't, right? The Niners keep saying, we liked all 5 guys, which is BS. But the point is they moved up to 3 for a reason. Sauce. Who do they select tonight? Who do you think they should take? But more importantly, again, who do you think they will take tonight?
So in this scenario, they 100% have moved up for a quarterback. There were teams that thought that they could get ahead of them. They couldn't because, as Charts just laid out, Zach Wilson is going number 2. Everyone, when this first happened, said it's got to be Justin Fields. And then everybody basically said, wait a minute, it's Mac Jones, and they've never wavered. The kid in 2 bowl games last year threw 9 touchdowns. He threw 41 touchdowns last year and 4 interceptions. Mac Jones is a stud and will be the quarterback for this team for the next 10 years. I don't know why a lot of people downplay him. He played in some of the biggest games, and he just shredded some of the best defenses in the SEC. This kid's an absolute stud. Mac Jones is the pick.
What happens to Jimmy G?
I think
Lots of trade rumors.
Yeah,
right?
lots of trade
I think he
rumors.
goes back
to New England.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
the latest one was like they're actually reworking the deal right now, talking about restructuring his contract.
And that was from the same
get him
guy
back. Yeah.
who broke
Interesting.
the Brady to
Correct.
Tampa story.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would assume if you trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, that also greatly alters the chance that you make a move for Fields, right? Because that's the other big hot rumor is that the Patriots are trying to get to him somehow.
Yes.
If you trade for Garoppolo, you probably don't draft Justin Fields. You could, but you probably don't.
Does anybody have a disagreement on who they're going to pick? And also, do you have a disagreement on whether or not this kid's going to be worth it?
I know Ben does.
Mac Jones.
You know, Ben,
Well, no, the problem is nobody really knows. I mean, none of these guys have really played that much football where you're 100% sure about anything, especially with these quarterbacks. So it's as good a choice as any. And if they can find a way to unload Garoppolo's contract, then they'll be in the position to sign the other free agents they need to become a good team again.
all right, I will go contrarian and mention, Mac Jones is good. It's a fine prospect, but he's not that different than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Huh.
The skill set isn't that different. And I think you've got a lot more upside in Trey Lance and Justin Fields. And I think that if you've all the equity you've put into moving if you're San Francisco to get into this position, I would want the remarkable arm strength and athleticism that those guys give you.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
He's currently now minus 250 to be the third overall pick, Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the thing is, the way that I looked at it when I was watching the quarterbacks, I like Mac Jones more than a lot of other people because, yes, he was surrounded by super talent. I mean, he was on a super team.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watch some of the throws, he's the one throwing these guys open. They're not just making tremendous catches. He's the one that's putting the ball where it's supposed to go. He's the one that's anticipating these routes. He's the one that's breaking down the defenses. And I think that he has more athleticism than what people are giving him credit for. He was just never asked to do what Zach Wilson and Justin Fields would do at some times. And that's the other thing. Justin Fields is more of a drop back passer than people think. He scrambles because he needs to create some plays and go off schedule. But Zach Wilson, to me, the reason why I didn't have him super highly rated from these guys is, yes, he can create, but it was his own inability to break down defenses and anticipate, which is the reason why he had to break the pocket, because he couldn't see things clearly. These other guys see the field much more clearly. I think Mac Jones is going to be a terrific quarterback, even though he's got the same number of starts as Trey Lance does. I think his upside from a cerebral standpoint is way higher than
which of these guys, Ben, would you compare with the sort of the career arc we've seen with Josh Allen already at Buffalo, and maybe what people thought about Josh Allen coming out of the draft and looking where he's at already after a very short time?
That's where I think Trey Lance can be a tremendous player in the league if they mold the offense to what they do with Josh Allen. Look, Brian Daboll in Buffalo, if he kept his offense the way it was when he first got his hands on him, Josh Allen would be a terrible quarterback. We would not be talking about Josh Allen the way we are. He changed their offense in the offseason to say, what does he do best? Well, he goes 4 and 5 wides. That's not Daboll's deal. Daboll is not that type of coordinator. He had to learn how to be a coordinator for Josh Allen. He changed his offense, and now they go 4 and 5 wide. They sling the ball around. They may go running back in this draft, but they're going to find the best catching running back that they can, because it's all about just tossing the ball quickly around. I think that's where Trey Lance's arc should go and could go, but he's got to find the right coordinator that's willing to play that offense for him.
I agree.
All right, one more pick for segment 1 of the Power Trip Mock Draft, 18th annual edition. Nordo has pick 4 in the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen.
Hi.
Good morning.
The Falcons are pissed because they've been trying to trade back. They're in a spot right now where defensively they were one of the worst teams in the NFL last year in yards. Can't stop the pass. Can't beat teams unless they're at US Bank Stadium.
Oh boy!
So I'm Terry
hurts.
Fontenot, and if I'm making the pick, I'm a little annoyed because I really want a corner next to AJ Terrell. I want a safety. We just got rid of the oft-injured Keanu Neal. I want a linebacker next to Deion Jones, and my pass rush is getting old. However, since I already have 2 more years of super expensive Matt Ryan, I'm just going to take the best quarterback in this draft, and I think that's Kyle Pitts, tight end out of Florida. He's an absolute freak, and that's what we're going with, gentlemen.
All right, what do you think, Charge?
If you had to peg one player out of this draft to go to the Hall of Fame, he'd probably be the right player to pick. He's got wide receiver hands and route running and a tight end. He's probably the most gifted pass catching tight end that we've seen in a decade. And there's nothing not to like about Kyle Pitts. I just think if you're Atlanta, the question is, do you expect yourself to be in the top 5 again anytime soon? And if you don't, maybe you want to go get Matt Ryan's heir apparent.
Well, there you go. We are now 4 picks into the 18th annual Power Trip NFL Mock Draft. We just had Kyle Pitts, the tight end, go to the Falcons. When we come back, leave our picks for the Bengals. And of course, we eventually get down to pick number 14. SPA will pick for the Vikings. If you're not watching us on our YouTube channel, you need to be. I'm watching it right now. And I got to tell you, AJ's doing a great job switching back and forth. And he also is showing the actual highlight of the clips and stuff. When the pick happens, it looks like a big time operation, which is something we're not used to. I know exactly. So stick around. We'll be right back, Corey.
This is
This is the 18th annual Power Trip Mock Draft on The Fan.
KFAN Total Traffic.
From the Holiday Station Stores Traffic Center, here's a look at the roads on the Lafayette Freeway. It's slow northbound from the Lafayette Bridge up to 7th Street. We've got stalls on 35W, northbound at 60th and southbound at 98th, both on the right side. Keep in mind that Chicago Avenue is now closed in both directions between East 17th Street and South 9th Street for utility work until May 5th. That's Traffic on the Fan, sponsored by Audible.
Give spring a whole new sound with Audible Plus. Listen all you want to thousands of select Audible originals, audiobooks, and podcasts, including exclusive series. Start a free 30-day Audible Plus trial when you sign up at audible.com.
LutherAuto.com. That's a place to go if you want to start shopping around for a new vehicle. They have the largest inventory in this. And it's so stress-free because they handle all of the paperwork. It's easy. It's fast. It's simple. It's safe. It's Luther. We buy at Luther and LutherAuto.com. You're going to have a great customer experience. You're going to get some money, and Luther gets a vehicle. Find a dealership online right now at LutherAuto.com, or if you know where one is, drive that vehicle in today. We buy at Luther and LutherAuto.com.
Who has the highest quality, best tasting frozen pizza available in the market? 7th Avenue Pizza, of course. You can purchase.
Hey, it's Chris Hockey, Corey Cove, and Meat Sauce Paul Lambert of the Power Trip Morning Show. We're supposed to do a promo for the show. What should we talk about?
Well, we have a lot of guests like Mark Rosen, Carly Zucker, Ben Lieber, and Mark Parrish.
Those are great guys. What else, Corey?
That is cool. And we play initials every Friday at 8:15 on the Power Trip Morning Show. That's a lot of fun, too.
What time's the show on?
5:30 to 9.
Weekday mornings, 5:30 to 9.
It's so early, but we try to do it with a smile.
We do.
Sometimes.
It's the Power Trip Morning Show, weekday mornings, 5:30 to 9, right here on
The Fan.
Nailed it.
Betting is easy. Simply visit purplewave.com to get started. Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
Does a robot know you like a neighbor?
Insurance Corporation will fulfill requests to cover anyone, anything, anytime, anywhere, with most standard algorithm in the order it was received. Please hold.
Robots don't know you. We do. At Farm Bureau Financial Services, getting the insurance coverage you need always starts with a conversation. Find a Farm Bureau agent at fbfs.com/protect. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Let me ask you a question. What goes better with the Derby than mint juleps? The Derby and Better Edge. Better Edge is the latest and greatest betting platform. You can even bet with no VIG in most U.S. states. The Derby is this Saturday, which means it's time to place your bets on Better Edge and their Derby markets. Don't forget to use promo code KFAN for $10 free to use on your first bet. Sign up right now at betteredge.com. Better Edge, giving the edge back to the bettors. That's BETTOR edge.com.
You don't drive just an average truck or do just an average job. So get to Northern Tool. With brands like Milwaukee, Steel, Lincoln, Honda, and more, we bring the power. We're definitely not your average tool store. Visit our store or buy online and pick it up curbside. Northern Tool and Equipment. Quality tools for serious work.
Get mega deals during the Northern Tool and Equipment Mega Sale. Save up to 55% on thousands of tools and equipment, from pressure washers, lawn and garden, material handling, shop tools, and more.
Well, I started my own restaurant because I love to cook. But that also means a lot of greasy pots and pans. So we can't waste time with endless sink changeovers. So we upgraded to Dawn Professional Pot and Pan.
Dawn Professional cleans 58% more pots and pans per sink than the leading competitor.
Less dish soap, fewer changeovers, and more time doing what we love.
Dawn Professional. It's clean. Upgraded. From P&G Professional.
Panera favorites are hot and ready to serve for dinner. Taste our creamy mac and cheese served in a crispy bread bowl. Or the classic bacon turkey Bravo featuring our signature sauce. How about our new mouth-watering Chipotle chicken and bacon flatbread pizza? These and other favorites are waiting for you. Order dinner tonight for delivery or pickup. Only at Panera. Availability and pricing may vary.
For the biggest savings of the year on new siding, go to buildersandremodelers.com.
This report is sponsored by Verizon.
There it is. 53 ball.
All right, welcome back. And don't forget, we are on our YouTube channel live, and you can see all these, and I got to say, really beautiful men in that studio over there, and then me and Charch as well. We were just talking about that in here, Charch and I, about how good you guys look on camera and how we look like we haven't seen the sun. Look at that. Look at that. Look at us. Why are we so
I'm
pale?
the one who looks like I haven't seen the sun in 41 years.
I'm just back from Sarasota. I have
Yeah,
seen the
look
sun.
at him. Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
That's Paul with a tan right there. Oh,
that's frightening. That's what that is. Look like a radiation
Oh, no,
victim.
you're right. We look better than there's Corey. We do look better than Corey.
Everybody does.
Oh, no.
But it's the draft, man. We're through 4 picks, Corey.
Yeah, when Trevor Lawrence 1, Zach Wilson 2, Mac Jones 3, Kyle Pitts 4, and Lieber is up next. Cincinnati, Ben Lieber on the clock at pick 5.
Well, I feel like every mock draft at the start of the year was Penei Sewell. It was like, oh, it was a lock. It was that and the Cowboys, which I have that pick as well, is Surtain. I mean, it was every mock draft you saw, it was those two were definite locks outside of Trevor Lawrence. You know, if I'm Cincinnati, I look at my offensive line situation, and I think my only real need is at right guard. I don't think that they necessarily have to go with Sewell because Jonah Williams, yes, he's been injured, but in the 10 games that he did play last year, he was their best offensive lineman, and he's still extremely young. If you think that his knee injury from last year is not a chronic thing, if you think the shoulder injury that kept him out of his rookie year is not chronic, I think that you don't waste the number 5 pick on a right guard. So I think that you beef up that wide receiver core. T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd are your two big go-to guys. I think they go with the number 1 guy on the board, and it's Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase?
Great pick.
Now, of course, I know this, but who is he and what's he play?
He's a wide receiver.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Perfect. Great. Anybody disagree? What do you think, Charge?
No, I think Ben hit it exactly right. They don't need offensive line nearly as much as they need help elsewhere. And if you want to maximize Joe Burrow, why not give him a player that instantly becomes the most dynamic playmaker of your entire offense? And that's what Jamar Chase does. Insanely productive, fast. It's a terrific marriage for a player he's very familiar with already. So yeah, love the pick. And I do think that's how it'll go down tonight.
So slight stretch, but stay with me for a second, right? Jamar Chase opts out and might be a top 5 pick, right? Didn't play last year, might be a top 5 pick. Bateman opts out, then goes back to the U, has a super uneven season. It doesn't work out. Teams falling apart. Then he opts out a second time. You know, a year ago, he was a projected top 10 pick, whether that's true or not. But people were saying he might be close to a top 10 pick. Now he might be the end of the first round. I guess my long-winded question is, massive mistake even playing, or would Rashad Bateman have just been better off never going back to the U?
He was tracking in the middle of the first round prior to his decision, and he's now tracking at the bottom of the first round. So, the decision probably cost him 10-ish spots.
But do you think that that's from his production or lack thereof this year, or do you think that other guys like Kadarius Toney has come up? Do you think Devontae Smith all of a sudden now, emerges? Like there are guys that actually played this year that had exceptional seasons that I think just sort of outshined him. So I think whether he played or didn't play, I don't think that decision affected him. I think just the guys, the talent pool around him just got deeper.
Got it.
Mr. Swedberg, any thoughts on all this?
Well, I don't want to backtrack too far, but with Burrow getting hurt last year, every time a quarterback gets hurt, the GM starts thinking, I better make my offensive line a little bit better. So I still think there's a chance that Sewell could go there, but I like Ben's logic.
The 18th annual Power Trip Mock Draft is presented by Pilot Games. Thanks, Pilot Games.
Yeah, and if you don't know what Pilot Games are, man, I mean, electronic pull tabs. Let's roll, right?
Yeah, let's roll.
I like it. It's fun. Rosie, I know you're upset about what just happened with the Bengals there.
I am
but
upset.
tell me what you think the Dolphins are going to do at pick number 6.
They obviously were looking at Chase. They needed to help Tua out a little bit more with some offensive help, and they have a guy named Jalen Waddle out there, is also a stud wide receiver. As we know, there's some great wide receivers, but I'm thinking that they're a little surprised, and everyone can't have enough defense, can't have enough defensive backs, especially in the competition. I think they're going to surprise a few people and go with Patrick Surtain from Alabama, the cornerback. I just think he's just too good to pass up. And he's got that Alabama pedigree and what that team does defensively. And again, you're playing the Josh Allen. You're playing some really good teams, and you need to beef up that secondary. So I'm going to go with kind of the Mike Zimmer process here and go. I'm going to take the best cornerback available, and he's definitely it.
Wow. Charge, Ben, anybody?
They were a really good pass defense last year, and they put a lot of equity into the position. I don't think they'll go cornerback here. Surtain's good enough where he deserves to go as high as the Dolphins, but I think they've got just massive need at other places as they're only a couple of years into their rebuild, and I'd be surprised if they go cornerback.
All right, fair point.
And I think with the other pick in the first round, wherever if they decide they feel like Surtain is too good to pass up, okay, well then you better get a wide receiver with that 18th.
Yeah, that's what
So I could see it going either way. I understand the logic of, hey, we're going to take the best player available. Let's take him, knowing that we have this fallback of getting a pretty talented wide receiver or somebody else.
I agree.
Later in the first.
Go.
All right, pick 7, the Detroit Lions and Greg Swedberg.
Oh boy.
Hi guys.
Hey.
See, I don't think the Lions are actually going to pick here. So we said at the beginning of this draft that we would pick the player that we thought would go in this position. I think the issue with trading back, I think both the Lions and the Panthers would like to trade back. It's possible the Broncos would either like to trade up or trade back. The trade back market is depressed because of that. Everybody wants out of these picks. I do think there's some people who do want into these picks. So I think one of the teams that maybe would move up would be the Broncos here. Maybe the Patriots would move up. Maybe Washington. Maybe the Bears. In any event, I think a quarterback is going to get picked at number 7. So the Lions don't need the quarterback. I just don't think the Lions are going to make this pick. But we'll take Trey Lance here, assuming that somebody makes a pick at number 7 for a quarterback. And I think Lance he's rough. He's probably not going to be great right away. Doesn't need to step in. In most of those cases, he doesn't have to step in. He could play in Denver behind Teddy for a year. They could dump Drew Lock. I think there's a lot of options here, but I think that Lance is too good a talent to not get drafted in the top 10. So I think at number 7, it won't be the Lions who pick him, but it'll be Trey Lance.
Oh.
Charge, anybody?
It could still be the Lions who take Trey Lance. They don't have a real commitment at this level to Jared Goff, and they can get out of Goff's contract pretty easily, especially after this year. So they could let Trey learn for a year behind Jared Goff, and then see what they got. And then the worst thing that happens is you got 2 good quarterbacks. So it could still be the right pick for the right team.
If it rolls this way, the way that this draft board has gone, they take Penei Sewell in 1 second. They don't. That would be the best player that they would take at this position.
And I would not put it out of the realm of possibility with Dan Campbell, and we've all seen his press conferences. We know the mentality that he has, with Chris Spielman being one of the consultants and one of the guys kind of leading the new leadership there. I wouldn't be surprised if Micah Parsons goes there to Detroit.
That's who I've got. Yeah. But I still think that this team's still committed to a long-term rebuild. It's not. I think they recognize that they're nowhere near close. They're going to want to stock up with as many draft choices as they can get. You can get good defensive help in the back part of this draft. I mean, if it was New England who traded up here, you'd be fine, and you'd probably pick yourself up a second-round choice or maybe another first-round choice next year.
Yeah.
So I think they're committed to a long-term rebuild. I think they're better off taking the asset that they have and turning it into more picks.
I agree.
Thank you.
Next time, Shane.
So that would segue right into pick number 8.
Yeah, you're back on the clock because we're snake drafting this thing. So you're up for Carolina.
Situation in Carolina. Carolina, has got issues across the board. There are probably still going to be some people now who are who want to get up here and take Justin Fields because all of a sudden now there might be a necessary run on a quarterback at number 8, and Carolina would love to get out of this pick. And I don't think I'm not going to trade 2 picks in a row. I actually do think that there's issues along the offensive line in Carolina. There's issues at linebacker at Carolina. There's 2 likely choices there. But I think that most people consider Penei Sewell a 10-year starter. You can lock him in there and leave him there. They're not that good on the offensive line at Carolina that they can afford to pass somebody like that up. So let's take Penei Sewell and put him at number 8.
Yeah, man, I think he probably won't even drop that far. Looking at it,
he might.
It's possible.
And this is, of course, where all the Viking fans are now screaming,
right?
Hey, trade up. Let's go get this guy. And which I think is you're out of your minds. But there's a lot of people who will be doing that.
You think they would be out of their minds to do that, Ben?
Yeah. So if you're yelling at the TV to try to trade up to get Penei Sewell, I think that you're out of your mind to waste that many draft picks, compromise the rest of your draft to go get a guy that I think is a talented player, but I don't think that he's worth trading up for, knowing that you could have Vera Tucker there. You could have Slater there. Though all 3 of those guys I think are going to be equally as effective in the NFL, depending on what system they're in and all that stuff. So I think the trade up for that would be a little irresponsible.
Yeah, and I think that the draft capital you would need to get there is probably a first rounder next year, and I don't think the Vikings should be trading away future first rounders, just for 1 year. It's a great question that I'm sure we'll talk about when we get to 14, but I think that at this point, to move that far up, you don't have enough choices anyway for the Vikings. You shouldn't be doing that.
Rosie, all of us are on the edge of the seats waiting for you
Denver.
to pick for the Denver Broncos.
Well, first big pick for...
And we're going to wait even longer.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Pilot Games. That was a hell of a tease.
Yeah,
Rosie and the Broncos are next. Pilot Games brings you the 18th annual mock draft right here on the Power Trip Morning Show. Come on back.
You're so right, Corey. And we would have done Fan Five brought to you by Builders and Remodelers. But, of course, we're right in the middle of the draft. And right now, if you don't mind, just for 1 second, please stay tuned while I try to talk to you a little bit about your financial situation. Now, you may be saying to yourself, you're the last person in the whole wide world that I would take money advice from. And that's fair. I don't even know how much money I have in the bank, admittedly. But here's what I do know. I know that I took all these credit cards that I had 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I got myself a credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream. And if you're wondering what that is, I'm going to tell you. Thousands of dollars lower than interest rate. Lightstream.com/hockey. Credit card consolidation loans from 5.95% APR with auto-pay and excellent credit. Lower than that average interest rate we were talking about. And there's no fees. You can even get your money as soon as the day you apply. And for you, again, Power Trip listener, you get a special interest rate discount just for going to this website, Lightstream.com/hockey. So you're right. I'm not the guy to take financial advice from, but I'm not Chris Lightstream. Lightstream.com/hockey is where to go. LIGHTSTREAM. Lightstream.com. Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.95% APR to 19.99% APR. Include 0.50% auto-pay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change. Lightstream.com/hockey for more information. That's a hell of a read on that, right? We'll be right back. The NFL Mock Draft on the Fan.
KFAN Total Traffic.
From the Holiday Station Stores Traffic Center, here's a look at the roads. We've got delays on the Lafayette Freeway northbound from Plato to 7th, mostly in the right lane. And keep in mind the northbound Lafayette Freeway entrance ramp from Wentworth is closed with construction until May 3rd.
Hey, it's Chris Hockey, Corey Cove, and Meat Sauce Paul Lambert of the Power Trip Morning Show. We're supposed to do a promo for the show. What should we talk about?
Well, we have a lot of guests like Mark Rosen, Carly Zucker, Ben Lieber, and Mark Parrish.
Those are great guys. What else, Corey?
That is cool. And we play initials every Friday at 8:15 on the Power Trip Morning Show. That's a lot of fun, too.
What time's the show on?
5:30 to 9.
Weekday mornings, 5:30 to 9.
It's so early, but we try to do it with a smile.
We do.
Sometimes.
It's the Power Trip Morning Show, weekday mornings, 5:30 to 9, right here on
The Fan.
Nailed it.
An agent for a quote today.
I don't know what 6% of your home's value is, but I'll bet you do. This is Corey Cove for Shift Real Estate. List and sell your home for a flat fee of $5,000 with Shift. Traditional realtor commissions usually start around 6%. And why would you give your hard-earned equity to an overpriced and outdated process? Make the shift to Minnesota's flat fee realtor. Shift Real Estate. You will work with full-time salaried agents that take professional photos of your home, list it on the MLS, and market your home online, all for a $5,000 flat fee. Your home is likely worth more now than ever. On average, home sellers who list with Shift Real Estate save $10,000 or more on realtor commissions. List today with Shift Real Estate and tell them you heard me talking about listing for a flat fee and saving thousands. It's a new world out there. Stop overpaying realtor commissions. So how much is 6% of your home's value? Let me guess, a lot. List with Shift Real Estate. Visit shifttosell.com. That's shift, the number 2, sell.com. It's the fair, modern way to sell your home.
Well, I started my own restaurant because I love to cook. But that also means a lot of greasy pots and pans. And we can't waste time with endless sink changeovers. So we upgraded to Dawn Professional Pot and Pan.
Dawn Professional cleans 58% more pots and pans per sink than the leading competitor.
Less dish soap, fewer changeovers, and more time doing what we love.
Dawn Professional. It's clean. Upgraded. From P&G Professional.
Get up to $650 cash back on thousands of in-stock appliances from top brands during Warner Stellian Stimulus Sale. Transform your kitchen with the style of GE Profile and get up to $2,000 back on qualifying suites. Relax with safe, free local delivery and haul away by our trusted specialists. Plus, get 18 months 0% financing. There's never been a better time to upgrade your home than the Warner Stellian Stimulus Sale. In store or at warnerstellian.com.
Mark Parrish here from my Minnesota-made Northland Vodka. It begins with premium Minnesota organic corn grown in Benson, Minnesota. But most importantly, Northland donates at least 5% of profits back to Minnesota through local hockey programs. Thank you for making Northland Vodka the spirit of hockey.
During a normal year, moms do it all. They're superhuman. But this year, moms took on so much more. They kept us safe, kept their hopes up, and kept everyone going. And that's on top of all the other superhuman mom stuff. So this Mother's Day, shop Hellsberg Diamonds and make Mother's Day extra special for her. We have a large selection of meaningful gifts for every budget, so our associates can help you find the perfect gift to show how much you truly appreciate her. Visit your local Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com. Don't forget your special mom this year, Sunday, May 9th.
It's Chris Hockey, the Power Trip Morning Show. If you're like me, you're taking your health more seriously than ever before. Cultivated CBD has helped me so much with my anxiety, with sleep, and helps me recover from workouts as well. What can they do for you? I'd love you to try it and find out. So many people have told me so many great success stories. Here's how you find yours. Go to cultivatedcbd.com. Use the keyword KFAN. You'll get free delivery. And if you have any questions, the Cultivated team has got all the answers you need. Cultivate your health and wellness and do it with the brand I trust. Cultivated CBD at cultivatedcbd.com.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Freshen up your playlist this spring with Audible Plus.
Our mission is to serve the community. Pilot Games has given us the opportunity to provide those resources and so forth that we need to our schools, to our fire department, to our library, to organizations that help the hungry. All of those are all made possible by the Pilot Games organization.
Mock draft on the fan. Presented by Pilot Games. Thanks, Pilot Games.
Thank you, Pilot Games. And we, again, are live on the Power Trip YouTube channel, which you can get through but you can just go on YouTube as well and run a search. But you want to see what these folks look like when they're really hard at work making picks? You can watch it happen live. So please do that, Corey.
No, I'm not going to do that. I got this radio show to do.
Now. I like watching
you guys can do it. I'm on the edge of my seat because Rosie's about to pick for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, and good luck to George Payton, leaving the Minnesota Vikings franchise to go to Denver. His first GM spot, first big spot for him tonight. The Denver Broncos gave up a 6th-round pick for Teddy, our guy Teddy, 2 gloves, Teddy Bridgewater, yesterday. But they have a guy named Drew Lock. Well, Drew Lock sucks. According to Charge, back me up on this. According to the data at Pro Football Reference, Drew Lock was the least accurate starting quarterback in the league last year.
That sounds right.
On target percentage was 68%. So, okay, you got Drew Lock. You just traded a 6th rounder for Teddy Bridgewater. Is that enough to satisfy George Payton and the Denver Broncos? I think not. Can't have enough good quarterbacks. Got to have the best starting quarterback on the board right now, and that's Justin Fields. He's going to be a Denver Bronco tonight.
Wow. That would almost certainly be the pick if Fields falls.
If he's
falls
still
to
there.
Denver, absolutely.
Yep. Well, I'm glad you agree.
I do agree.
And I couldn't.
I
agree
need
more.
I need your applause.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I didn't have
I'm
that.
just
Hold on.
kidding.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, good for you.
Charge thoughts on Justin Fields, period, not just necessarily
overall.
this pick.
Well, remarkable athlete. I mean, game-changing athleticism, showed up in big games and played very well in them. Arm strength is fantastic. And he will bring mobility to the position that if you're smart enough to use it, will end up breaking down defenses a wide variety of different ways. And there's a lot to like. Now he's raw. Ideally, he's going to be somebody that you don't have to start for at least half a season. Let him learn the mechanics. He's got mechanical issues you're going to have to work through and decision-making issues, but there's a lot to like about Justin Fields, and I can't imagine that he would slide farther than this, and that Denver wouldn't address that spot.
You know what's crazy, by the way, when it comes to quarterbacks, and this is every year in every professional sports draft, that one pick changes everything. Is the butterfly effect. But right now on ESPN, they're talking about how Todd McShay is pretty convinced that Trey Lance is going third, not Mac Jones, and he has Mac Jones then falling all the way to the Patriots at 15. So think of,
I've seen that.
Sauce took Mac Jones third in our mock draft. If Trey Lance goes third, you can just rip this whole goddamn thing up, right? Because the trickle-down effect is crazy if Lance is off the board and Mac Jones falls all the way to 15.
5 quarterbacks and 9
Crazy.
picks right now.
And with if all the quarterbacks are gone at number 9, that's not good for the Vikings. I mean, you kind of like to have one of those quarterbacks still around at 14, so that at least
bargaining.
So for a bargaining chip, so there's a reason to trade up. Because now at this point, if I'm sitting behind the Vikings, what reason do I really have to trade up anymore? And the Vikings have to trade out of 14 to get a second-round pick.
Swedberg, you know this. I think you're a brilliant mind.
Here comes the butt.
There's a giant butt.
Here comes the butt.
No, this is
That's on the button bar, by the way.
This is a Nick Saban brilliant mind, and I agree that I know everybody wants to say like, well, the Vikings should just trade down. Well, given Corey's kind of situation, what you laid out, but there has to be a reason for somebody to trade up. Like you can't just like call me like, hey, we want to trade down. They're like, cool. Well, we don't want to trade up. Like, we don't want to give up picks to get your spot. Like, the draft, and that's why it's so compelling that what happens with the quarterback situation, we need as a Viking fan base, you need quarterbacks to slide down the draft board as much as possible. So if a guy like Mac Jones or Justin Fields does slide, good.
Right, so Ben, let me play this out with you. Let's say Mac Jones is there at 14 and the Bears come calling, and now you're the Vikings. Do you hand a division rival a possible solution at the most important position? No price.
I mean, everybody's got a price, but I think it's a king's ransom to trade within your division to a guy that could scorch you for the next 10
You need at
years.
least their next year's first-round pick. At least.
At least. If not, I mean, you need...
And they got to take a salary you don't want.
And bring over Akeem Hicks.
That'll do it.
Give us Akeem Hicks.
I'll take that deal.
Yeah, I'll take the deal.
Well, why not have the Vikings take Mac Jones in that spot?
Right. Because there'll be no one to block for him, Paul. It's
Well,
the
that's
same
good.
issue as ever.
Correct.
Ben, you're back on the clock. The Dallas Cowboys in pick 10.
Can we go? Who did you take at Carolina?
Sewell.
Penei Sewell.
Sewell went 8th. Fields goes 9.
Okay. That's what I thought. Okay, I just miscounted. All right, this is the other one, like I mentioned before, that it's been a deadlock that they're taking a cornerback, and everybody's saying it's Patrick Surtain Jr. But I don't think that's necessarily the case. Okay, yes, they got Trayvon Diggs last year, so he'll be a second-year guy. They need to find a guy that can play opposite him. Up until last year, they thought they found that guy in Anthony Brown. They signed him to a 3-year deal in the offseason. He got injured. So at last year's offseason, they thought they have their guy. They have their 2 starting cornerbacks. He gets injured. They have to shuffle the deck a little bit. So it seems like, boy, they're in a desperate need at corner. I don't necessarily think so. I think that They have major concerns at linebacker because of Sean Lee's retirement. Leighton Vander Esch, you can't tell if his neck's going to stay on. I mean, his head might fall off.
Rosie.
So he's in and out of the lineup, even though when he's healthy, he's talented. I think you take the best linebacker and the best defensive player left on the board. You take Micah Parsons.
Man, what a great pick, Ben.
He seems like a Dallas Cowboy linebacker too. It just fits.
Yeah, he can do it. I mean, he was a blitzing linebacker when he got to Penn State, and they had to teach him how to like kind of read coverages. So he's a downhill sucker, man. And I think he's a disruptor, and he's going to be great for whoever picks him up.
Is he inside or outside?
He's an inside guy.
Okay.
Charge?
That answers my question.
Micah Parsons is a fascinating prospect, and he's great against the run, but he's still an elite blitzer, and he's got terrific mobility all over the field, excellent and can be good in coverage as well. And there's a lot to like about him. He's expected to be the first linebacker off the board. I think Ben's take is right that it's not necessarily the lock at cornerback, and especially in our mock draft with Patrick Surtain already off the board in our mock draft, then I think all the more reason to find another spot, and that makes sense.
I agree.
Good.
All right, let's stay in the division and go to the New York Giants and Eric Nordquist. Hi, Nordo.
Hi, Nordo.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for having me. This is an
Wow.
awesome. I love this mock draft every year.
I agree.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, the Giants are in a tough spot. They kind of wanted Micah Parsons, and they kind of want an offensive lineman too. They're not going to do that. Daniel Jones needs more weapons, and they're going to add a wide receiver. They're going to add Devontae Smith from Alabama.
Ooh. Ben?
I can't. Given the fact, and that's why I looked over at Nordo and I forgot that you had the next pick after me, and you were just eyeballing me when I was saying, and I'm like, why is he so intensely like staring at me?
I was annoyed. I mean, they have Blake Martinez, Ryan Anderson, Lorenzo Carter. They got Afadio Denebo now as their pass rusher. The Giants' linebacking core is terrible, and you completely sniped me.
I know.
Now I got to play him twice a year. It sucks. So Micah Parsons is going to be chasing Devontae Smith up the seam on a mismatch, and the Giants will be happy with another weapon to pair with Kenny Golladay and a healthy Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, and they got the speedy John Ross as well. Who knows what's going to happen with him? But yeah, I think that's what you have to do. You have to
They
give
need a tackle. I mean,
a right tackle. You can take a right tackle at this spot?
No, I think you take Rashawn Slater because he's such a good tackle, and you flip your other guy. I think
you're shuffling that whole offensive line around.
Oh my gosh!
Just-
I agree. Oh my gosh! To create a really good offensive line, you wouldn't shuffle. I mean, it's like I think that the fact that Slater's not off the board already is nuts.
Sitting there for Minnesota.
Ooh, maybe
Rashawn Slater this morning, this is breaking, signed an endorsement deal with Raising Cane's.
No kidding?
Is that right?
You're out and he's in?
I had no idea.
No, I'm not out. I'm just saying he's now
he's
officially the pick that I want the Vikings to make it 14. I want to go Raising Cane's with Rashawn.
That makes
Slater.
perfect sense to me.
Sauce.
Yeah, that is actually a true story.
Oh, here he comes.
He actually did sign.
Okay,
this morning.
Sauce with Philly at pick 12.
So Philly obviously used to have the 6th overall pick. They moved back to let the Dolphins. Okay.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
How long are you going to talk?
This is mean. This is the only time I've ever prepared.
He did.
Yeah, right.
Well, I basically just printed somebody else's work, but that's fine. The Eagles desperately need a wide receiver every year. They're like the Packers, where they always need one, but they don't take one.
Because they passed on Justin Jefferson?
They took the wrong one last year. They will love it if it goes this way, and they will run to the podium and take Jalen Waddle, the wide receiver from Alabama. They would love it if he was there at 12.
Now, Ben, do we know if Jalen Waddle is good at paper, rock, scissors?
Rochambeau.
We do not know that. But we're going to find out.
The idiot coach of the Eagles know that.
We're going to find out.
Did you guys see that this week?
Yeah.
I mean, what an embarrassment.
No, I literally don't know what you're talking about.
The coach of the Eagles,
I
the
don't
new idiot
think he was
coach.
like completely, like it's a complete serious.
Oh, he was being serious.
Yeah.
He said he was trying to see how competitive all these guys were, so he played paper, rock, scissors with a bunch of them.
No
He
kidding.
wants to see how seriously they take it.
Yeah, but he used
Man.
real scissors, real rock.
Yeah, it was aggressive. Somebody got hurt.
Good luck to Jalen Waddle. Charch, you like Waddle at 12 or not?
I do, and it does make sense. The Eagles have to be able to basically say, we blew it last year. We're going to go wide receiver in the first round and just own up to the mistake. And if they're willing to do that, and they probably are, then this makes sense. You get effectively a track star who can catch. He's insanely fast and explosive. He's an amazing athlete with a remarkable amount of wiggle. A lot of track stars just can run straight and fast, but that's not Jalen Waddle. He's extremely polished, and this is where he grades out, and it's a pick that makes sense.
They also are. They could take J.C. Horn, the corner.
That's
at
who I
12.
would put here.
Yep.
All right, the last pick before we take a break and come back and talk all about pick 14 and the Minnesota Vikings will be the Chargers at 13 and Paul Charchian.
I am Chargers general manager Tom Telesco.
Hi, Tom.
I'm feeling pretty cocksure after last year's draft of Justin Herbert, who narrowly beat out Justin Jefferson for Rookie of the Year while setting all-time records for completions in a season, touchdowns in a season. And it was just 30 yards shy of the all-time rookie yardage record. And so now what do I want to do? I want to make sure that kid stays upright, and I want to snipe the hell out of the Vikings.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Last year, the Chargers' pass blocking was somehow actually worse than Minnesota's, and that's saying a lot. My team, the Chargers, ranked 30th in pass blocking by Pro Football Focus last year, and that was our good stat. We were last in run blocking last year, so we are going to take the best offensive lineman on the board, and that is left tackle Rashawn Slater.
Oh, I guess I'm going to Canes with somebody else.
All right.
There's nobody who doubts this pick. This would be the most straightforward
of
pick
course.
there is on the board.
Ben?
I doubt the pick.
Oh,
Do
why?
you?
Ooh.
I don't doubt that they're going to take offensive linemen. I'm still, what do they say? Standing on the table for this guy. I think Vera Tucker is the best, is the best guy on the board when it comes to offensive line. I think he's better than Penei Sewell, but I know a lot of people don't see it that way. So even in this scenario, I think you take Vera Tucker over Slater.
Well, I'll tell you why I think you're wrong, Ben, and that's because my Chargers starting left tackle is Apple Valley native Trey Pipkins, who went to noted football powerhouse Sioux Falls.
It's my dad. It was my dad's alma mater.
Right, exactly. I'd rather line up your dad.
Oh, wow.
My goodness.
Wow. I'm in. Oh, and if it's
No
not
offense to Trey
Slater,
Pipkins, if you're
assuming
listening.
Slater might get picked before this, it would be Darisaw because they need a left tackle.
They need a left tackle.
Darisaw needs a fire in his behind.
Hey, don't rip people who don't work hard.
All right, so Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Patrick Surtain, Trey Lance, Penei Sewell, Justin Fields, Micah Parsons, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and then Rashawn Slater. Those are the 13 off the board. When we come back, we'll ask PA who he thinks the Vikings would take in this mock draft. And then probably more importantly, what are they actually going to do tonight, regardless of how it falls on our draft? That's next. Brought to you by Pilot Games, the 18th annual Power Trip Mock Draft on the Fan.
This is the 18th annual Power Trip Mock Draft on the Fan.
Follow KFAN all weekend for the best interactive Vikings draft coverage. Find us using hashtag KFAN Draft. Listen live and podcast with the iHeartRadio app. And hear us live and loud on FM 100.3 KFAN.
iHeartRadio is partnering with Global Citizen for Vax Live, the concert to reunite the world.
You'll see performances from Jennifer Lopez,
Eddie Vedder, Foo Fighters,
J Balvin, and me, her.
I'm Selena Gomez, and I'll be your host, along with some very special surprise guests.
Global Citizen's Vax Live, the concert to reunite the world.
Listen on the iHeartRadio app, Saturday, May 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific.
and watch on ABC, CBS, Fox, and YouTube.
KFAN Total Traffic.
From the Holiday Station Stores Traffic Center, here's a look at the roads. We've got an accident on 494 southbound on the exit ramp to eastbound Highway 7. Traffic slow on the Lafayette Freeway northbound from Plato up to 7th, mostly in the right lane. On Highway 10 westbound, the exit ramp to westbound Mounds View is closed with construction, so traffic is forced to northbound 35W. And westbound Highway 10, it's reduced to a single lane from 35W to Airport with construction until July. That's Traffic on the Fan, sponsored by Allstate. You may have heard that Allstate has new low auto rates, but isn't it time to see for yourself? With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your expectations. Visit allstate.com or call an agent to get a quote today.
Corey Cove, Power Trip Morning Show for Luther and LutherAuto.com. Do you need a car? Do you need a truck? Do you need a van? Do you need an SUV? In about 15 minutes or so, it's fast, it's simple, it's safe. You just kick your feet up. They give you a number if you accept, and you probably will. It's even better because then they handle all of the paperwork. So you get some cash, they get the inventory. Everybody wins. Super easy process. So if you're thinking about selling your vehicle, sure, don't do it online. Do it to Luther at LutherAuto.com. We buy at Luther.
The Professional Fighters League regular season continues live on ESPN2. The Red King, Rory McDonald, is ready to claim a new crown in MMA's league.
I plan to be the boss of the division.
He'll face striker Curtis Millender. Plus, Argentina's first MMA champion, Emiliano Sordi, takes on Chris Camozzi.
Emiliano Sordi!
Don't miss the most grueling season in professional sports. The PFL is back Thursday, April 29th on ESPN2.
Continental Diamond in St. Louis Park very much is open for business, and owner Uncle Jimmy and his team want to serve you. I have sent thousands there for a couple of decades, and dreams always come true. What a store. Get the best piece of jewelry you ever have owned from Continental Diamond in St.
Hey, it's Chris Hockey, Corey Cove, and Meat Sauce Paul Lambert of the Power Trip Morning Show. We're supposed to do a promo for the show. What should we talk about?
Well, we have a lot of guests like Mark Rosen, Carly Zucker, Ben Lieber, and Mark Parrish.
Those are great guys. What else, Corey?
That is cool. And we play initials every Friday at 8:15 on the Power Trip Morning Show. That's a lot of fun, too.
What time's the show on?
5:30 to 9.
Weekday mornings, 5:30 to 9.
It's so early, but we try to do it with a smile.
We do.
Sometimes.
It's the Power Trip Morning Show, weekday mornings, 5:30 to 9, right here on
The Fan.
Nailed it.
Giveaway gal. What common bit of hardware is used to hang siding? Rhymes with pale.
Get a perky puppy with every purchase.
No, we were looking for nail, and so you're an idiot. Mr. Thayer, name an algae commonly found on roofs.
What is Gloa capsamagma?
That's correct!
Look, Tom, when it comes to roofing and siding your home, don't deal with idiots. Go to allaround.com. We don't need to bribe you with gifts or gouge your insurance company. We've improved over 10,000 homes in the metro area and have won numerous awards.
Go to allaround.com and we won't see you next time on You're an Idiot.
Okay, so we're idiots. Does that mean we won?
Sure.
All around, we get it done and we do it right.
The Derby is this Saturday. Time to place your bets on Better Edge in their Derby markets. Use promo code KFAN for $10 free to use on your first bet. Better Edge, giving the edge back to the bettors. BETTOR edge.com.
612, The Bird.
Early Bird Electric is the troubleshooting expert for all your home's electrical problems. Mention KFAN and Early Bird will waive the trip charge.
612, The Bird.
Or online at 612thebird.com.
My wife loves gardening. She loves getting outdoors and being active. But I am always looking for ways to minimize chores in general, but specifically outdoor chores. I'd rather be spending time with the kids or finding something else to do. I don't want to be doing things like cleaning out gutters. And I assume you're the same way. Well, with Leaf Filter, your gutters will stay clean for good. Leaf Filter is America's #1 gutter guard and one of the most cost-effective ways to increase the value of your home. Leaf Filter is scientifically designed to keep everything out of your gutters except for the water, so the water flows freely instead of overflowing or backing up, causing costly water damage to things like roofs, siding, foundations, and much more. And right now you can get 15...
9 to noon, right out of the gate. Hey, get your Minnesota Vikings draft predictions today with me, Paul Allen, 9 o'clock, KFAN.
Welcome back to the 18th annual Power Trip Mock Draft on the Fan.
Live on our YouTube channel right now, and you're tuned in at the right time because we're about to hear exactly from the horse's mouth who the Vikings are going to take. Corey Cove,
I think he's ready over there.
I know you're nervous.
You know me very well.
I know.
I'm very, very nervous.
I know you are.
To complete this pretend draft. So, PA, here are the 13 in front of you if you didn't hear. Trevor Lawrence went first to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
Zach Wilson went second to the Jets. By the way, feel free to stop me and comment at any point. Mac Jones went third to the San Francisco 49ers.
The Niners have put a lot more time into Trey Lance than I think people know. So I'm not going to bet Trey Lance there, but I'm going to vet it out up to the 6:30 on the Fan tonight.
Okay. Kyle Pitts goes fourth to Atlanta.
Love it.
Jamar Chase, fifth to Cincinnati.
Love it.
Patrick Surtain Jr., sixth to Miami.
The Eagles are attempting to trade up
to get him,
to get Patrick Surtain. Now, I don't know how far up they would have to go, but that's the steam.
Okay. In this mock draft, we have Trey Lance going seventh to Detroit.
Yeah, I'm with Bosberg on that. I'm not sure Detroit's going to stay there. But if it does, I think Micah Parsons definitely could be in play. I mean, seriously, name the last game-changing linebacker the Detroit Lions have had. So it's the steam on Parsons is that he's going to drop out of the top 10 because of some off-field stuff. But from a strict playing standpoint, beast.
Okay. Penei Sewell goes eighth to Carolina.
Yeah, probably a little far down for me, but it makes sense.
Justin Fields ninth to Denver.
If there's a quarterback to slip, it will be him. The epileptic situation, I think, is a cause for concern for some right now. So if he gets around in that area, then that definitely could be something we'll talk about tonight at 6:30.
Micah Parsons goes 10th to Dallas. Devontae Smith goes 11th to the New York Giants.
Love that pick.
Jalen Waddle 12th to Philly.
I like Smith more than Waddle. Nacho knows more about it than me, but Smith returns, and I think that may be what gets between the Tide kids. I think that's why Smith may go ahead of Waddle.
And then Rashawn Slater 13th to the Chargers. So those are
all
the
due respect to
13th
us. That's ridiculous. He'll go in the top 8. And from a Viking standpoint, with Rashawn Slater and or Penei Sewell, they would be great. But I don't believe they'll be in a position draft wise with the capital or lack thereof the Vikings have to get that high to get Slater or Sewell. So the way this is laid out, I believe I'm going to, with Nacho in charge this evening, we're definitely going to keep our eyes on Justin Fields, and let's just see what happens there. Let's see if there is a slip, and if that slip gets down to 9, 10, or 11. The way this is laid out, I believe the pick would be Elijah Vera Tucker, the tackle guard from USC. And, when it comes to the way this is laid out, I think the two who would be in play for the Vikings this evening would be Elijah Vera Tucker and tackle Christian Darrisaw. So I believe it will be one of those two this evening. And I would lean Vera Tucker simply with the ability to play him at guard, move Ezra Cleveland to tackle. I'm not sure exactly which tackle, but tackle. Spielman drafted him as a tackle. We all know that. Didn't work out great for Cleveland last year, but he is talented. So I'm in the camp of those who believe, hey, let's let him grow. Let's let him mature. He learned the position, and that may be what we want to do. So if they take Darrisaw, I believe Cleveland stays at guard. If they take Elijah Vera Tucker, I believe Cleveland moves to tackle. Vera Tucker goes to guard, and there could be some things after the draft to put more competition on the other guard spot.
If Justin Fields slips all the way to 14, do the Vikings draft him and keep him, or is that their chance to trade back, get that second rounder, and then still find a way to get one of these offensive linemen?
I don't know if it was Bosberg, that's a lot of G's, or Nacho who said it when I was listening in the Score 680, but it's to get teams to trade up, specifically more than 5 picks, what they have to give. Not a lot of teams want to do it. Nobody's trading up from the 20s to 14 for Surtain or J.C. Horn or Darisaw, when Leatherwood and some others are going to be available. The Christensen cap from BYU is very steamy right now for the second round, late first round. The quarterbacks, Mond, Trask, and Mills, I believe all are going to go in the second round. So, you have teams thinking they can get players in certain spots, not having to move up. So moving back for us to recoup a second would be great. I think it's harder than people think. So at 14, if Fields is available, if a quarterback, specifically Fields, is available within 4 picks from the Vikings, the radio show tonight, KFAN, is definitely going to be a spot you're going to want to be.
Is that right?
Awesome. That's great stuff. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
There goes Paul Allen. Do you want to go first, Charge?
Elijah Vera Tucker is the likely pick for the Vikings, the most likely. If I had to put a name on that spot right now, that would be it. I don't care about the fact that he's flexible to play a lot of positions. I want a great player at one position. Your Hall of Fame linemen are great in one spot. The flexibility guys, to me, it's like your fourth round guys who, utility guys. You plug into different places. I want to find his best spot, probably guard, and just let him anchor that spot for hopefully a very long time. And I think he's the most probable player to go to the Vikings. And I know Ben Lever loves him.
Love him. And the thing is, the more and more mock drafts that I've seen come out in the last couple of days has Vera Tucker going to the Vikings. And I would love it because I've already said about 1,000 times, I think he's the best offensive lineman that's available overall. So for me personally, to get what I think is the best offensive lineman, I think is outstanding. Now, if it happens to be Slater, that would be amazing too. Like I think in this position at 14, if the draft kind of goes somewhat like we are predicting, Sewell's going to be probably the first guy that goes. And to walk away with Slater or Vera Tucker at 14, 100% in. Like you absolutely fill a need. And you just find the best 5 guys at that point in time. You're going to find a guard that's going to be, probably a 10 to 15 year guy with the Vikings team.
Some of you were floating the idea that if one of those quarterbacks drops and is still there, it gives the Vikings more advantage to try to make some moves because other teams want to go get him. But at the same time, using that theory, don't you want the quarterbacks to be gone to make sure that Vera Tucker is there at 14?
Yeah, that's
the
I think as we're hashing all this stuff out, if Justin Fields is there, I think this guy's going to be a pretty special quarterback, and I wouldn't hate it if they took him. Now, I'd love to see a plan. I'd love to see it unfold, sort of immediately afterwards, or at least within the hour. Like, okay, what's the plan with this? What are we going to do? Are we going to actually carry him and not try to parlay this into a second round draft pick, whether it's a move with Cousins or something like that? Because I think Fields could start right away.
In any event, are the Vikings going to have to take a quarterback at some point in this draft, earlier than later, to be their backup instead of the Sean Mannings of the world?
Yeah, I'm not going to say have to, because again, they're just in an interesting spot with no second round pick. So I believe Mond, Trask, and Mills all will go in the second round. My offensive friends around the NFL are saying Mills is the best suited to play the soonest. Mm-hmm. And from just from this standpoint, okay, looking at our mock draft, and I think this is pretty close to the way a lot of it's going to go tonight, is that would be with the Las Vegas Raiders or the Chicago Bears. They would trade up to your spot or around your spot to get Fields. So that now all of a sudden could put you back in offensive line territory in the 20s or the 19 or whatever, maybe get you a second round pick, then they would consider a quarterback in the second round. But they need a defensive end. And if there's going to be a defensive end taken by them, like say realistically tonight, Sewell and Slater, I believe there's less than a 5% chance the Vikings can find their way to those guys. Now, after that, if Elijah Vera Tucker and Christian Darisaw get taken before the Vikings, well, then absolutely a trade back has to happen if you can do it. And that also could be Kwity Paye territory, defensive end Michigan, if just everything falls apart and they can't trade back.
Okay, because we've been treating this draft like it's a one player draft for the Vikings. Everybody's focused on 14, but I'm not a genius, but I can tell you that they need a left.
Yeah, we all think you are.
Yeah, you are.
And I really agree.
I'm on the fence on you still.
You're Einstein in a contract year.
Thank you. The roster looks like this: no left tackle, no left guard. The safeties are in a situation where you need a safety at least for next year.
Great.
You need a defensive end to play across from Hunter if he in fact plays for you.
Agree. He will.
We don't know about the cornerbacks because we don't know what happened about Gladney, and you need a cornerback. You need a third wide receiver because you don't have one behind them. It's arguable that you don't really have a second tight end on this team. You don't have a kicker on the roster. This
is really depressing.
What I'm telling you, I'd rather not. No, I'm just saying this is not about one player. So the Vikings need draft capital. They need more choices. You have to find a way to fill up that offensive line. You need more picks. So you have to trade back. You have to find a way to get it. Because I keep hearing all these guys saying, well, we got all these fourth-round picks to trade. No one's going to give you a second-round pick for fourth-round guys. They're not going to. It's the Vikings have one choice in the top 75. They got to find a way to get at least two. And because you're not going to get enough starters to fix this problem. And then focusing on one player at 14 is not going to get it done.
A lot of holes.
All right, rapid fire. Let's go around the room. Regardless of trading up, trading back, or staying at 14, if you had to be right, the name that the Vikings call first. Charge, we'll start with you.
Elijah Vera Tucker.
Regardless of position,
Yep,
right? You're saying most likely pick tonight, Elijah Vera Tucker. Ben.
Same.
Rosie.
I absolutely agree. I think he's that's the position they need the most, and that's probably the guy they need the most.
Greg.
I want him to take Elijah Vera Tucker, but I don't think that's and to decide who it's going to be. Let's take Alex Leatherwood, a tackle later on in the first round.
Okay, Leatherwood. PA.
Elijah Vera Tucker.
Okay, Sauce.
Justin Fields, the quarterback from Ohio State.
Okay.
I'm serious.
I know you are.
Take me more seriously.
Thank you all very much for being a part of this. Corey, I know this is your favorite day of the year.
I just absolutely love every second of it.
I want you to have the last word. Who are the Vikings going to take?
I just hope Rashad Bateman goes in round one, so you guys each owe me $100.
That's all that matters.
ESPN was just talking about him going to the Packers.
Literally no points.
We'll break it down tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
The initials jackpot up to $25K tomorrow. And Olympic gold medalist John Schuster playing initials tomorrow on the Power Trip Morning Show. Paul Allen is next. See you tomorrow, everybody.
KFAN Total Traffic.
From the Holiday Station Stores Traffic Center.
May 7th, meet with a business specialist for a complimentary tech assessment and get limited time wireless offers. Learn more at verizon.com/smallbusiness.
I don't know what 6% of your home's value is, but I'll bet you do. This is Corey Cove for Shift Real Estate. Traditional realtor commissions usually start around 6%. Why would you give your hard-earned equity to an overpriced and outdated process when you can list for a $5,000 flat fee? At Shift, you work with full-time salaried agents that take professional photos of your home, list it on the MLS, and then market your home online, all for a $5,000